session, I will discuss about the some practice questions regarding the trigonometry. In the previous sessions also we have discussed some practical questions, these practice questions, and today also it will be again in this session also it will be again a practice question session. Therefore, in the first question I will discuss these parts. I will discuss part A, part B, C, D, I, L, N. Okay, here in the first question, it is asked us to find out the general solutions for the following equations. Therefore, first, if I just note down the general solutions, what we have identified was suppose that we are having sine theta which is equal to k, then the finding of solutions for a equation or in the expression in this form within the sine theta, then we can find out the value of theta, which is equals to n times 5 plus minus 1 to the power of n times alpha, where alpha is the principal solution, and alpha is the principal solution, and here is the n belongs to. Then the next thing is if you are having this cosine theta equals k, if you are having cosine theta equals k, then we are defining this value for theta. Theta is supposed to be 2 times n phi plus or minus alpha. Here also alpha would be the principal solution and n belongs to set of integers. Then we will have the next term. It is for the tangent theta. If you are having tangent theta equals k, then we are obtaining the solution for theta. It is theta equals n phi plus alpha, where alpha is the principal solution. Therefore, this is or these are the equations that we are generally used to obtain the answers for the questions mentioned here. Therefore, if I take the questions one by one, the first question in the part 8 is asking us about value for sine theta equals to half. Sine theta equals to half. When we are discussing these practice questions here, I will try to use the commonly using angles, and here I will try to use the have the use of the quadrant rule as well. If we just have the quadrant rule in this way, what we have learned so far, discussed so far was this is the quadrant rule we are having. Then what we know was this is all are positive, then sine is positive, cosine is positive, and tangent is positive in the four quadrants which we have discussed so far. Here it is given as sine theta equals to half. Therefore, in here what we know is we can find out the solution in a way that the principle should be always the least possible solution, or the least possible value which satisfies the equation. Therefore, our answer for this theta, or the principal solution for theta, should be in the first range or the second range. Therefore, generally it should be in the first region. It is because all the angles or the all the ratios are getting positive in the first region. Therefore, first we will try to identify a value which is associated with sine theta. What we know is if we are having instead of half, what we can do is we can say that value of half in this way. Then we can say sine theta will be equal to sine phi divided by 6. Instead of using degrees, we will prefer to use it in the radian measures. It is because the equations are formed in a way use of the radian measures. Therefore, now using this technique, we can find out the principal solution. Then we can say this is what we are taking as, if we are writing this as, then we can say this is what we are need to obtain, sine theta equals to sine alpha. Therefore we can say that value of alpha is equal to now 5 divided by 6. This is how we are taking the value. 5 divided by 6 would be our principal solutions for the equation sine theta equals to half. Now what we need to do is, since we are having in the form of sine theta equals k, now we need to find out the value of theta. To find out the value of theta, we can now do the substitution. It is n times phi, then plus it is minus 1 to the power n times alpha, where alpha is equal to 5 over 6. Therefore, this would be the general solution that we are getting for the equation sine theta equals to half. But what we are doing here is we are having the substitution of value of n gives us the set of possible solutions of theta. Then if you substitute the n is equal to 1, if in simply if you are setting n equals 0, what we'll get our principal solution. If n is set as 1, then we will get it as 0 times minus 1 to the power n, then you will get it as 1, then we'll get it as 5 divided by 6. In simply we are again getting the principal solution, just substituting n equals 0. Then we can substitute the value n equals 1, n equals 1, then we are getting it as 5, then minus 1 to the power 1, it is a odd power, then it will be become minus. Then we can just connect this minus sign, then 5 over 6. Altogether, we are getting this as 5 times 5 divided by 6. If you again substitute, instead of theta, if you substitute 5 times 5 divided by 6, again you will get the value as half. Now you can see that this 5 times 5 divided by 6, again it would be again in the second quadrant. And if you substitute n equals 2, then we can take it as 2 times 5 minus, it would be again minus to the, it is n equals 2, then this would be become plus 5 divided by 6. Altogether we are getting this as 13 times 5 divided by 6. Again we are getting the angle in the first quadrant. Now you can see if you substitute n equals 3, here you will get this as 3 times 5 uh, minus 1 to the odd power, n is 3, now it is an odd power, then this will become minus, then minus 5 divided by 6, then altogether it is 17 times 5 divided by 6 in the here. Again we are getting the angle in the second quadrant. Therefore it is quite like a pattern we are getting now. In this way we can find out all the possible solutions by substituting the value of n from 0 to the defined value. And the next thing is we'll see how we can limit our solution. To limit the solution, generally if we need to limit the solution, generally it is saying that theta is in a particular region. Suppose that if it is given that theta is in between, assume that this condition is provided for us. If it is given that here it is if theta is greater than 0, greater than equal to 0, and less than or equal to 3 5. Suppose that if it is in the way like this, then if it is asked to find out all the possible values, then we can find out the possible values of theta in this region. We can find out 5 divided by 6 is a possible value. Then we can find out the next one, it is 5 times 5 divided by 6, it is in this region. Then next value is 13 times 5 divided by 6, it is again in this region. Then 17 times 5 divided by 6, again it is in this region. But if you substitute n equals 4 here, then you will get it is 4 times 5 minus 1 to the even power, then you will get it as a plus value. Then 5 divided by 6, again it is 25 times 5 divided by 6. Now we can identify that this is a value which is greater than 35. Therefore we can find out these are the possible set of values that we can take for theta if a region for theta is given. But in the other ways, in all the other ways, what we can do is we can find out, we can take any of these values if any limit for theta is not mentioned in the calculation. That is why we are saying the general solution for theta is equal to n times 5 plus minus 1 to the power n times 5 over 6. Now we will, in the similar manner, now we will move for the next one. Here we can find out the solution for obtaining sine theta. The next one is sine theta is equal to minus half. Then here we need to find out the value. What we know is minus half, we can take the smallest value. If you can measure it in the fourth quadrant, it is because now we know that the sine function gets the minus value in the third or fourth quadrant. Therefore what we can do is we have to always identify the least possible value as the principal solution. Therefore if you can measure the angle in the clockwise direction, and if it becomes into the region 4, then we will get a value as the negative value. Then thinking on that way, we can take this value of sine theta, it is equal to minus times sine 5 over 6. And the next thing that we all know is this is the next concept that we have discussed previously. What we know was if we are having sine minus alpha, then we can take this as minus sine alpha as well. Therefore we can combine this situation to get this as minus sine alpha. Here what we know is to get a minus value, we can measure it in the negative direction. Then negative direction means the clockwise direction. Therefore we will get it as sine minus alpha minus sine minus alpha can be written as again in a way that minus sine alpha. We can get it as half, since it is given as half, we can get it as minus sine 5 divided by 6. Then we can say that this is equal to value of alpha. And here, okay, first I will take this as minus sine alpha, then this would be much more easier. Then we can combining with this we can write this is equal to sine, it is minus 5 divided by 6. Now we can take the value of alpha, it is in a way that value of alpha is equal to minus 5 divided by 6. Now we can use this value in the equation. The equation that we know or that we have identified was theta is equal to n times 5 plus minus 1 to the power n times alpha. Here if you do the substitution, we will get this as minus 1 to the power n. Alpha is again equal to minus 5 divided by 6. This would be the principal solution that we are getting here. Since we are having minus sign, then we can just do the substitute, just multiply the bracket with this plus and minus. Here we cannot make any change for minus 1 to the power n. We can, but anyhow this plus with minus 5 over 6 can be multiplied. Then this can be taken as n times 5 minus minus 1 to the power n times 5 over 6. Therefore, this is what we are defining as the principle, the general solution. Now, what we can do is now we can find out the possible values of theta for the values of n. Here, if you again do the substitutions, you can test for the values. If n equals 0, then we'll get it as 0 minus, here we are getting this as minus 1 to the power 0. It will be again 1, then it is 5 over 6. That is why we are getting this as minus 5 over 6. Then next value, it is n equals 1. N equals 1 in the sense it is 1 times 5. Then we will get this as 5 minus minus 1 to the power n. Again we will get the value as a negative value. Then it is 5 divided by 6. Then we will get it as 5 plus 5 over 6. Here we can see that it is 7 5 over 6. 7 5 over 6, we can see it is definitely in the region number 3. It is 7 5 over 6, it is definitely in the region number 3. Now we can see that we are getting the general solution using this equation. Therefore, if it is given a limited values for theta, then we have to find out the possible values of theta by substituting the values of suitable values of n. Then we can therefore if it is not any condition given, we can simply find out the value of theta is equal to n phi minus minus 1 to the power n times phi divided by 6. Then we can find out if you are moving for the third one. It is the question C. It is cosine theta equals half. If you move to a discussion of cosine theta equals half, then what we can find out is, first we need to take the general solution, the least possible value that we can take for the cosine theta equals half. What we know is cosine theta, again we can see it is again according to the quadrant rule, the all trigonometric ratios would be positive. Then we can uh, say it is all in the sense we can find, we have to find out the minimum value which satisfies this. Then we can find out this is equal to cosine theta is equal to cosine phi divided by 3. Now we can take this as the principal solution. Therefore we can using this we can say that the value of alpha is equal to phi divided by 3. Then what we have to do is we have to use the equation which is provided to obtain the solutions, general solutions for cosine theta, which is defined as theta equals n 2 times n phi plus or minus alpha. Here we can use this equation, theta is equal to 2 times n phi plus or minus alpha. Now we can do the substitution, it is 2 times n phi plus or minus 5 divided by 3. This would be the general solution we are getting for cosine theta. Again, we can check for substituting values if you need. If it is n equals 0, then we'll get the value of theta. One would be 5 divided by 3 and next value would be minus 5 divided by 3. It is because if you can measure the angle in anti-clockwise direction or the clockwise direction, it would be falls into the first or the fourth region. Then we can see that this in the first region and the fourth region we are getting the cosine as the positive value. That is why we are getting this when n equals theta we are getting 5 over 3 as well as minus 5 over 3. And if it is n equals 1, again we can do substitution. If it is n equals 1, then we can say theta is equal to 2 5 plus or minus 5 divided by 3. In here we can find out this is equal to 7 times 5 divided by 3, or else we can say this is equal to 5 times 5 divided by 3. We can use we can obtain both values once you substitute n equals 1 here. Then if I move for the discussion of the part D, in the part D it is given as cosine theta is equal to minus half. Cosine theta is equal to minus half. Here we have to find out the solution. We have to find out the principal solution. What we know is cosine, it is minus values. Minus values for cosine should be obtained from the second or the third quadrant. Second or the third quadrant we can obtain. Therefore, if you are measuring the angle in these using the associate acute angle rule also, we can find out the same, or we can easily find out a solution for this. Therefore, what we know is if you are measuring the angle in this direction, then we have discussed in the previous session, we can obtain this as the negative values. Then what we can do is we can say this cosine theta. It is if you are differencing this angle with this 5 units, 5 radians, then we can say this is equal to cosine 5 minus 5 divided by 3, where 5 divided by 3 gives the value as half. If you are measuring 5 divided by 3 in this direction from the angle from the line of this 5, then we are getting this angle which is equal to minus half. We have discussed these matters in the previous sessions. We can you can refer for them. Then what we know is using this concept we can say this is equal to this cosine theta. It is equal to cosine 2 times 5 divided by 3. Then we can say this theta equals 2 times 5 divided by 3. This is the principal solution. Then using this we can say value of alpha is equal to 2 5 divided by 3. Value of alpha is equal to 2 5 divided by 3. Then using this we can find out the value for theta. Simply we can take the value for theta. Theta is now equal to 2 times n phi plus or minus alpha. Then we can take the value of theta is equal to 2 times this n phi plus or minus alpha. Here we can take it as 2 times 5 divided by 3. Therefore, this would be the principal solution, general solution that we are getting for the part D. And now I will move for the discussion for the this question. It is tan 2 theta equals to 1. It is given as tan 2 theta is equal to 1. Now, it is quite different from the form that we have discussed so far. In the part I, it is given as tan times 2 theta equals to 1. First, without thinking about this 2 theta, suppose that if this 2 theta can be written as, first I will write this as tan beta equals 1, where beta is equal to 2 theta. Instead of 2 theta, I will just consider this as beta and I will try to continue the calculation, and at the end we'll again substitute the value for beta as 2 theta. Then what we can do is for the tan theta, what we know is the equation is given as if tan theta equals k, then theta can be obtained as n times phi plus alpha. Using that equation, what we can do is first we need to write down this equation. Therefore, instead of theta, I will continue from using the tan beta. Then tan beta equals to 1. The value that we are getting this tan beta equals to 1 is 5 over 4. Then what we know is tan 5 over 4 is equal to 1. It is the least possible solution that we can get. It is because we can get the positive values for tan in the first quadrant or the third quadrant only. Therefore, we'll try to find out the solution from the first quadrant. Then we are getting the value for beta is equal to 5 over 4, where the value of alpha or the principal solution is equal to 5 divided by 4. Now we can do the substitution. Instead of 2 theta, we have obtained or we have substituted the value beta. Then we can obtain the value for beta. It is equal to n phi plus alpha. Alpha is equal to 5 divided by 4. But instead of using this alpha equals, instead of using beta, what we have to do is now we have to replace it from 2 times theta. It is because we have substituted beta instead of 2 theta. Now we can take it is 2 theta beta Instead of beta, we are using 2 theta. Then 2 theta is equal to n times phi plus phi divided by 4. Therefore, we can take out the value of theta, which is equals to half times the quantity. It is n times phi plus phi divided by 4. Now, substituting the values of this n, if n is equal to 0, then we'll get the value of theta is equal to 5 divided by 8. It is half times, this quantity will become 0. Then half times 5 over 2, 5 over 4 will be equals to 5 over 8. Then we can substitute n equals 1 and get the appropriate values for theta. N equals 2. Then for 2, n equals 2 also we are getting the value for theta. In this way, we can find out the values for theta. Here it is asked to find out the general solutions. Then for theta, we need to get a value. That is why we have to divide it by 2, since it is the equation, or the equation is provided from tan 2 theta. Now we will have to move for the part L and M. Those are the remaining parts that we need to discuss for the first question. If you move to discuss about the question, it is sine squared theta minus root 3 times sine theta times cosine theta equals to 0. It is the question that I'm taking now. Uh, Here it is given, the question is given that part L, it is sine squared theta minus root 3 times sine theta times cosine theta is equal to 0. This is the expression given for us to solve. Then we need to obtain solution. Therefore, first of all, it is quite like somewhat a quadratic equation. The concepts of quadratic equations can be taken here, or else we can simply take the concepts of the factorizing. Here we can find out value for the sine theta is common for both terms. Then we can take sine theta out of this. Then the remaining would be equal to sine theta minus root 3 times cosine theta equals to 0. Now it is quite given as suppose that it is if sine theta is x, then it is quite given as x times x minus root 3 times y. If we are taking cos theta as y equals 0. But it is, if it is in the what we are taking as the quadratic equations of this the technique of this factorizing. Now what we can do is we have identified two factors. Now we can equate each factor to 0. Then we can take the value of sine theta. This is equal to 0. This gives one solution. Or else we can take the next one. This is the next possible solution. Sine theta is equal sine theta minus root 3 times cosine theta equals to 0. Therefore, these are the two possible solutions. Then here we need to find out the principal solution, which gives the sine theta equals to 0. And thereafter, we need to find out the principal solution for the next part also. Here what we know is sine theta. If you are getting sine 0, we are getting it to be the principal solution. Then here we can get a value of alpha is equal to 0. Then we can take using the equation theta is equals to n phi plus minus 1 to the power n times alpha. Then doing the substitution, it is n phi plus minus 1 to the power n. Alpha is equal to now 0. Then we are getting the value of theta is equal to n times phi. Theta is equal to n phi. Then we can get the next one. It is sine theta minus root 3 times cosine theta equals to 0. Apart from using the value for 0, it is because we are having sine ratio and the cosine ratio both in the same calculation. Therefore, what I can do is I can take the ratio between sine and cosine, which will help us to make somewhat a good solution for this. Then I will take here this sine theta and all the terms to one side. It is root 3 times cosine theta. Then I will try to cosine divide by cosine theta. Then I can omit all the trigonometric ratios in the right hand side of the equation, but the left hand side also gives us this ratio somewhat a simplified form. It is sine theta divided by cosine theta, which is equal to tangent theta, and this is equal to root 3. Now we have to find out the solution for this part as well. Then we can say this tan theta, it is equals to here. First we need to find out the the principal solution, and then we can find out the solution using the equation. Here we can take tan theta, it is equal to tangent of phi divided by 3. What we know is tangent phi divided by 3 gives the value as root 3. Then we can take the value of alpha here. It is the new value of alpha. It is 5 over 3. Then we can again do the substitution in the equation. Equation is given as n times phi plus alpha. Then we can take a value of theta. It is equal to n phi plus phi divided by 3. Therefore, we can take out the set of solutions. It is theta equals to n phi, or we can say value of theta is equal to n phi plus phi divided by 3. Therefore, this is what we can find out. And if you need, you can do the substitution. What will happen? We'll see what will happen if you do substitution. If n equals 0, we are getting theta equals 0. It is the general solution we have obtained, the principal solution we have obtained there. And if you are taking or substituting n equals 0, then we'll get theta equals 5 over 3, which was the principal solution for the second factor we got. And if you substitute n equals 1, we are getting this theta equals 5. Then the next possible value is theta equals, then n equals 1, then 5 plus 5 over 3, it is 4 times 5 over 3. Then similar manner we can find out the next value for theta. If n equals 2, then theta is equal to 2 times 5, then it is 2 times 5 plus 5 over 3. Altogether we are getting this as 7 times 5 over 3. In this way we can get the values. Therefore we can take the values for theta. Then possible values would be 0, 5 divided by 3, then 5. It is 4 times 5 divided by 3. Then 2 5 can be taken out. Then 7 times 5 divided by 3. In this way we are getting the possible solution set for theta. And if there is any limitations provided, we have to find out the values for theta within the provided limits only. Now we will move for the discussion of the next part. It is the part M. In the part M, it is mentioned as we need to find out the value for theta, where it is given as 2 times sine squared theta plus 3 times cosine theta equals to 0. Here the question is given as it is 2 times sine squared theta plus 3 times cosine theta equals to 0. Here, as soon as we see this question, we can see that the sine squared term is there and cosine is uh, given there. But if you are trying to find out the factors, here one term it is quite like is in the form of x, but it is the other term is quite in the form of y. Now what we can do is, using an appropriate equation, we have to, it is better to convert the sine squared theta in a form of cosine theta, or else in the other way around we have to convert this cosine theta in a form of sine theta. The easiest way that we can use here is conversion of the sine squared theta into a form of cosine squared theta. If you note down the question is given as it is 2 times sine squared theta plus 3 times cosine theta is equal to 0. Here, instead of sine squared theta, I can simply use this as this sine square. Instead of sine squared theta, it can be simply used as 1 minus cosine squared theta. Then 3 times cosine theta is equal to 0. Now, we'll try to solve the bracket and try to find out what we are getting here. Here it is 2 minus 2 times cosine squared theta plus 3 times cosine theta equals to 0. To find out the factors, we are much more familiarized with taking this as a positive value. Therefore, I will take all the terms to the other side. It is quite, we'll get it as, or if you are multiplying it with minus 1, then we'll get this as 2 times cosine squared theta minus 3 times cosine theta minus 2 equals to 0. Now we need to find out the factors for this equation. Then we can get one factor. Uh, it is here we can get this as cosine theta, and here we can take it as cosine theta. Then the difference should be minus 3. Then I will put minus 1 and minus 2 here. This makes the factorizing of these 2 times cosine squared theta minus 3 times cosine theta minus 2. We have in previous sections we have defined how we can factor out and quadratic expression. Um, Apart from thinking this as cosine theta, you can simply take it is quite in the form of 2 times x squared minus 3x minus 2. Instead of cosine theta, what we have used was x, then we can take, we can easily now factor out. It is 2x with x, then here it is minus 2. Here this should be minus 1. Therefore, by thinking this way, we can easily factor out. Now what we can do is we can find out the solutions. Then by equating them separately to 0, then 2 times cosine theta minus 1 equals 0, or else we are getting cosine theta minus 2 equals 0. From the first part, we will get this 2 times cosine theta equals to 1, which gives the value of cosine theta equals to half. But here we will get this cosine theta equals to 2. This will not be exist. It is because cosine theta cannot exceed the value 1. Therefore, this cannot be uh, exist. Therefore, this has no solution. We have to say that this cosine theta has no solution since it cannot be exist. Then we are getting the only solution from this factor. Then we'll get cosine theta equals to half. Then it can be taken as cosine theta is equal to cosine phi divided by 3. Now we can take the value for alpha, the principal solution. Alpha is equal to phi divided by 3. Then we can take the value of theta. Theta is equal to 2 times n phi plus or minus alpha. Here we have found the value of alpha. Value of alpha was 5 divided by 3. Therefore, we can get the value of theta is equal to 2 times n5 plus or minus 5 divided by 3. Therefore, this is how we are using the equations given for finding out the general solutions. And the similar type of questions are included in the second and the third part as well. Uh, and you can try for those questions by yourselves. And then I will move for the discussion of finding out the angles or solving the triangles. Now I will pick up a set of questions from this fourth question now. It is the solving of triangles. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss these questions. I will discuss part A, it is part G, and I will take the discussion of part J as well. Here the we are asked to solve the triangles. To solve the triangles, what we can use simply is we can use the sine rule or the law of sine or the law of cosine can be simply used to obtain the answers for the solutions for the given values for the triangles. Now we'll see how we can use the sine rule and cosine rule to solve the triangle. We move for the obtain the solutions for triangle, we have to use the sine rule, which we have discussed as a divided by sine a equals to b divided by sine b equals to c divided by sine c. If you are having the triangle in this way, if you are having a, b, and c, then we are marking the angles with uppercase letters, while the opposite side direction is marked as A, B, and C. If you are having the triangle, then we can find out this the sine rule, and the cosine rule can be defined for the triangle. If you are having this as a squared, the cosine rules can be obtained as a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2 times bc cosine of a. Then b squared can be considered as or obtained as a squared plus c squared minus 2 times ac cosine b. C squared can be obtained as a squared plus b squared minus 2 times ab cosine c. Uh, then these cosine rules, or we can use the sine rule to obtain the answers for the provided triangle. In the first part of the fourth question, it is given as if you write down the values provided for us. Question number 4, part A. The values provided for us are A is equal to 31, one length is given, then one angle is given, A is equal to 43 degrees, and we are given another one, it is C is equal to 80 degrees. These are the information that they have provided for us, and now they are asking us to solve the triangle in the sense we need to find out all the three angles in the triangle and all the three sides of the triangle as well. Now what we need to find out is we need to, for the sides, we need to find out the value for b, we need to find out value for c, and we need to find out the value for the angle B. But according to the summation of the internal angles of a triangle, what we know is it is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, what we know is the summation of the inner angles or the values of the inner angles, then we can take it is equal to 180 degrees, or which is equal to 5 radians. Now we know the value of A is 43 degrees, value of B, it is the thing we need to find out, then value of C is 80 degrees, and the summation is equal to 180. Then we can find out the value of B by solving this equation. It is 180, then minus the summation of 43 and 80. Then this results the value of B, which is equal to 57. Now we have find out one value. B is equal to 57 degrees. Then we need to obtain the value. Now it is finished. B has identified. Now we need to find out the value for angle B, the side B and C. We can use, since we know all the angles, we can use simply the sine rule to find out the remaining sides. It is because one side and one length is known. Then we can find out to get the value for B. Uh, we can use A divided by sine A equals to B divided by sine B equals to C divided by sine C. Here, if you do the substitutions, we know the value of A is 31 and value for sine A, it is sine 43, has to be obtained. Then value of B, it is needed to identify. Then sine B, we have found it as 57 degrees. We need to take its sine value. Then it is equal to C divided by sine C, it is sine 80 degrees. Therefore, these are the things we need to find out B and C. Here, suppose that if you try to use the cosine rule to get the value of B, then we can take B squared as A squared plus C squared minus 2 times AC times cosine B. But what we know so far is we know the value of A, we know the value of cosine B, we can find out, but still we do not know the value for C. Therefore, we cannot use the cosine rule at this point to find out the value of B or C. Then the only rule that we can use to find out the value for B or C is only the sine rule. Therefore, by equating the first two terms together, we will get this as 31 divided by sine 43 degrees, which is equal to B divided by sine 57 degrees. Now we can have the calculation for this. Then we can take B is equal to 31 times sine 57 degrees divided by sine 43 degrees. Therefore, solving this leads to the answer as value of B can be obtained as 38 point, if I keep it accurate to two decimal places, we'll get the value of B is equal to 38.12. In the similar manner, we can take the value for C using the sine rule, but if you need, now you can obtain the cosine rule. It is because now you know the value of A and B. It is because two sides and one angle is needed. Then but anyhow, since we have already obtained the equality, we can take it easily. Then we can take this as 31 divided by sine 43 degrees is equal to, now first and third term are equated, then it is equal to sine 80 degrees. Then we can take the value of C, it is equal to 31 times sine 80 divided by sine 43. Then we can find out the solution. It is 31. We have to multiply it with sine 80. Then divide it by sine 43 leads to the value as 44.76 units, accurate to two decimal places. Therefore, this is how we are using the sine rule to obtain the sides. And here I have used the concept of the summation of the internal angle of a triangle, which is equated by equating it to 180. The angle is obtained by using the sine rule. The length of B and the length of C is obtained. But if you need to obtain the latter part, we can use the use the cosine rule as well. It is because if you are using the cosine rule, what we need to do is we can take c squared is equal to b squared plus a squared minus 2 times ab times cosine c. Now what we know is we know the value for b, we know the value for a, and we know the value for c as well. Therefore, if you need, we can, it should be uppercase letter c. This lowercase c squared can be now simply obtained using this equation, since we know all the rest of the terms. Then since all this majority of calculations are somewhat similar here, I will directly go for the part G, discussion of part G. Then in the part G, it is given as value of A is given as 32. Then value of C is given as 26. Two sides are given. And then value of B is given as 28 degrees. Now we know about two sides, and still we do not know about what we are taking as, still we do not know about the value for B, value for the angle A, it is unknown, and value for the angle C also it is unknown. Now we need to find out all three. If you try to seek for the help of the sine rule, again we'll see whether it is help for us. Here, if it is given as A over sine A, B over sine B equals to C over sine C. Here what we know is A is known, but sine A is unknown. B is unknown, we can find out the sine B. C is known, but sine C is unknown. Therefore, here we cannot have a complete one for at least for one of these terms. Therefore, we cannot use the sine rule at this point. Therefore, the only help would be the cosine rule. Therefore, what we know is we know the two sides and the angle B, then we can find out the angle B, the side B, the length of the side B easily. Then we can take it as B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared minus 2 times AC times cosine of. If you substitute the values, A is 32, C is 26, minus 2 times 32 times 26 times cosine of B, it is 28 degrees. Then we can solve this. 32 squared plus 26 squared minus 2 times 32 minus 26. It is into here we need to find out the value of cosine 28. Then this leads to the value as 230.78. It is still the value for b squared. Now we have to take the square root of this. It is 230.78. Therefore, this is to approximate and take the square root, then we'll get it is around 15.19. We'll get the value for B is 15.19. Now it is okay. Now we can find out the A and C. It is because now B is known. Then we have to find out this part and this part only. Therefore, we can simply use the sine rule. If you use the sine rule, what we know is A divided by sine A is equal to B divided by sine B is equal to C divided by sine C. According to the values provided, A is equal to 32. A is equal to 32. Still, we do not know the angle A. We have already found the value for B. It is 15.19. Then divide it by value of sine B. Now we know the value for B, it is given as 28 degrees. then we can take out the value, the sine value of that. Then we know the value of c. C is given as 26, but still we do not know the angle c. Then by equating the first two terms together, we can easily find out the value for sine A. Then equating the first two terms, it is 32 divided by sine A is equal to 15.19 divided by sine 28, which can be obtained as sine A. Sine, once you have the cross multiplication, and if we subject the value for sine A, then we'll get it as sine A is equal to 32 times sine 28 divided by 15.19. Then we'll get the value for sine A. We'll get the value for sine A is equal to 0.9890. Here I have taken it for 4 decimal places. Now what we need to do is we need to take the value of A. A can be considered as the sine inverse of the 0.9890. Now you can have the help of your the calculator or else a sine table. If you take the inverse, then we can have this value of A is equal to, if I just approximate, it is equal to 81 degrees, accurate to 1 degree. I have obtained this value of A is 81 degrees. Now we know about the angle B. Angle B was given as 28 degrees. Angle A was obtained as 81 degrees. Now we can use the sine rule if you need, but we can simply use the addition of the internal angle of a triangle, which is equal to 180. Since we know about the angle of A and angle B, now we can simply find out the angle C using this equation. Then C would be equal to 71 degrees. Therefore, using this manner or using this concept, we can find out the value for angle C as well. But if you need, you can write down this equation in, you can write down this equation using the use of the sine rule. We can again find out the value C. And I would like to highlight one more thing as well. When we are writing the sine rule, here it was written as A divided by sine A equals to B divided by sine B equals to C divided by sine C. This can again written, if you are taking the reciprocal of all of these, it would be again similar. Then we can say this is equal to, here it is sine A. If you are considering the reciprocal, this would be again similar. It can be written as sine B equals to B and sine C equals to C. The both ways are correct. You can use or you can stick into one of these methods when you are having the solutions or you say of the iron rule. And thereafter I will move for the discussion of this part J. Here it is just given us the value for A, B and C only. A is given as 4, B is given as 5 and C is given as 6. Here what they have provided was part J. Value of A is given 4, value of B is given 5, value of C is given 6, and we are asked to find out the value of A, value of B, and value of C. We are just asked to solve the triangle. Solve the triangle in the sense we need to find out the length of all sides and the values of all the angles of the triangle. Now what we can do is we cannot use the sine rule. It is because directly here it is because still we know about the value of all three sides. But if you know the value of all three sides, what we can simply use is we can use the cosine rule. If you say it is a squared, then a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2 times bc times cosine of a. Now, if you do the substitution, a squared is 4 squared equals to, it is 5 squared plus 6 squared, c is 6, then 2 times b is 5, c is 6, cosine a. Then if you take all the terms, here it is 16 minus 25 minus 36 equals to minus 2 times 5 into 6, altogether it is 60 times cosine a. Then if you solve the left hand side, it is 16 minus 25 minus 36, it is minus 45 is equal to minus 60 times cosine a, which leads to the value of cosine a. We'll get it as simply if you divide both sides by minus 60, we'll get this as 45 divided by 60, which is equal to 0.75 or 4 divided by 3. Then we can have the inverse of that value as the angle of A. Then we can take it is the cosine inverse of 0.75. Then we can have the angle A, it is equal to angle is, if you it is 41 degrees. Now we have found one angle. Then if you need, we can apply the sine rule. But here also I will use the cosine rule, since we get much more easy way in the when we are doing the calculation uh, compared to the sine rule. Here I will try to find out the value of b. Then I have to, since I need to take the value of b, I will use this equation a squared plus c squared minus 2 times ac minus cosine. Then b squared, b is equal to 5, a is equal to 4, and c is equal to 6. Those are the values provided. Then 2 times a c with cosine. Then we'll get the solution. It is 25 minus 16 minus 36. Then minus 2. Here we'll get the solution as 4 times 6 into minus 2. It is 48. Then we'll get this the left hand side. It is 25 minus 16 minus 36. We'll get this as minus 27 equals to minus 48 times cosine b. Then this leads to the value of cosine b equals to minus 27 divided by minus 48. Then we'll get this as 0 point cosine b, it is 0.5625. Then we can take this b is equal to the cosine inverse of 0.5625 is equals to the value of b. Then we can take this as, if you round up, then we'll get this value as 56 degrees. Now what we know is we know two angles of this triangle. A is equal to 41 degrees and B is equal to 46 degrees. Then we can at these values A, B and C, it is equal to 180 degrees. We have already found the value of A is 41, value of B was 56, and we are yet to find the value for C. The addition equals to 180. Then we will get the value for C, which is equal to 83 degrees. Now we have find out all the uh, necessary solutions. A, B, and C has now found out. Now we will move for the discussion of the next question. The next question, using the trigonometric ratios of 45 degrees and 60, you asked to evaluate these angles. Here it is simply saying that without using the calculators or any trigonometric tables, the way of solving this type of trigonometric ratios would be discussed in this question. It is just using the concept of the compound angle formulas, we can simply obtain these values. Now I will discuss the question number 5. Here it is asked to using these trigonometric ratios 45 and 60. It is because these are the known angles and we know the values for the trigonometric ratios of these two angles, and using this we are asked to find out the values of cosine 15, tangent 105 and sine minus 50. The first part, it is asked us to find the value of cosine 15 degrees. Now we have to think in a way that how we can obtain this cosine 15. Use have the use of the angles 45 degrees and 60 degrees. If you see about combining these two angles, we can just have just think about aren't we get cosine 60 degrees minus 45 degrees, aren't we get this as cosine 50? If you take the difference of these two angles, we are getting this as cosine 15 degrees. It is quite in the form of cosine A minus B. Here if you see about this, we can see it is quite in the form of cosine A minus B. If you are having cosine A minus B, what we have discussed in the previous session was we can write this as cosine A times cosine B plus sine A times sine B. Using this equation, we were able to have this as this A minus B. Then we'll now try to write this. It is because now these 60 degree and 45 degree are well-known angles, commonly using angles. Then instead of writing this as cosine 60 minus 45, we can write this as cosine 60 degrees times cosine 45 degrees plus sine 60 degree sine 45 degree. Cosine 60, in the sense we are getting the cosine 60 equals to root 3 divided by 2. Cosine 45 was identified as half. It is 1 over root 2 of the half, 1 over root 2. Then this plus sine 60 degrees. Again, yeah, if I correct this, cosine 60, it was given as half. Cosine 45, it was obtained as 1 over root 2. Then sine 60, it was root 3 divided by 2. Then sine 45, again it was 1 over root 2. Then we'll take these values. It is we can take the common denominator. We can take this as 2 times root 2. then we can get this as 1 plus root 3. Therefore, we can get the solution for cosine 50. It is 1 plus root 3 over 2 times root 2. Then using the similar concept, we'll have the value for tangent. In here, it is given as tangent 105 degrees, 105. Then we can simply say this as the addition of the angles. Tangent, it is 60 degrees plus 45 degrees. Now we can use this method to find out the solution. Then we can take, if you are familiarizing with this tangent a plus b, this can be considered as tangent a plus tangent b divided by 1 minus tangent a times tangent b. Applying this equation and substituting the values accordingly, we can get this as tangent 60 plus tangent 45, 1 minus tangent 60 into tangent 45. If you do substitution, we'll get this as tangent 60, which is equal to root 3, tangent 45, which is equal to 1 over 1 minus is root 3, then tangent 45, it is equal to 1. Then we'll, if you do the calculation, then we'll get this as root 3 plus 1 over 1 minus. Then the next one, it is sine minus 15. Sine minus 15 degrees. We can obtain this as sine 45 degrees minus 60 degrees. It is here, it is quite given as sine a minus b. If we are having sine a minus b, we can take this as sine a cosine b minus cosine a times sine b. Using this equation, we can now, along with the substitution, we can write down the equation. It is sine 45 times cosine 60 minus cosine 45 times sine 60. Sine 45, we are getting the value as 1 over root 2. Cosine 60, the value is half minus, here we are getting 1 over root 2. Sine 60, we are getting it as root 3 over 2. Then if you take the common denominator and solve this, we'll end up with the calculation as 1 minus root 3 divided by 2 times root 2. This is the answer for the fifth question. And the similar questions, it is quite in the sixth question, it is quite similar as the question number 5. You can try for it. And now we will move for the discussion of the next question. Here I will take the discussion for the question number 7. In the seventh question, A is located in the fourth quadrant and B is in the second quadrant. In a way that the modulus of sine A is 3 over 5 and tan B, the modulus of tan B is 2 over 24. And we are asked to find out the values for tan A plus B and cosine A minus B. Here, angle A is located in fourth quadrant and angle B is located in the second quadrant. It's better to show this in the quadrant rule pictorial manner. Here, if you find out the quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4, what we know is the angle A is in fourth quadrant. This will be angle A will be in one of in the way where that it is located in fourth quadrant, and angle B is in the second quadrant. Angle A and angle B. But the next thing it is given that the modulus of sine A is equal to 3 over 5, and the modulus of sine B is just given as 2. Now, what we need to find out is the values of angle A and B. Sometimes apart from taking the angle A and B, if you see about what they ask us to do is they ask us to obtain the value of tan A plus B. Tan A plus B, using the compound angle formula, we can write it is in the form of tan A and tan B. Therefore, apart from taking the values of A and B, it is better to find out the trigonometric ratios for tangent, and here in the second part we may need the cosine values as well. Then what we can do is here the modulus of these angles are given, then we can without thinking about the quadrant, what we can do is we can find out the associated acute angle, since these quadrant these modulus values are given for us. If you draw the triangle, if this is the angle A, always we will say the associate acute angles only, since the sine A is given as 3 over 5, 3 over 5 in the sense, these are the sides we are getting. Opposite side is 3, this hypotenuse is 5, then we are getting the adjacent side is equals to 4 units. Using the Pythagoras theorem, we can find out the value of this side, or the value of this adjacent side would be equal to 4. Using the same concept, if you try to find out the values for the next triangle we are having here, if it is angle B, again we are finding out the associate acute angle. Since we are getting the modulus, we do not need to worry about actually where this angle located. We can always think about the associate acute angle, since the modulus value is given. Then we are having the next value. It is not the sine, it is tan B. The value is given as tan B. Tan B in the sense here we are having 7. Here we are having 24. Using the Pythagoras theorem, we can get this is equal to 25. Then the first thing is finding out these values. First, we need to find out these values since those are the missing values there. Now we can easily take the values for tangent A, tangent B, sine A, sine B, cosine A, and cosine B, which will be helpful for the calculation. Now, if you move for the calculation, the first part says that, okay, apart from finding out them, I will write them. Sine A is 3 over 5, it is the modulus. Then we can do it for the cosine B, it is 4 over 5. Then for the tangent, we are getting, here it is, A. Tangent A, we are getting this as 3 over 4. Then similar manner, if we are taking for the angle B, sine B, it is 7 over 25. Then cosine B, 24 over 25. And tangent B, it is already provided. Anyhow, if you write it, it is tangent, it is 7 over 24. These are the angles we are having, the values we are having. Always we are considering the modulus values. It is because we do not know what is the exact angle we are having. Just we have considered about the associate acute angle only. Now in the first part, it is asked to obtain the value of tan A plus B. Tan A plus B. Now we are getting the values. It is now, if we are taking, it is tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A times. Now we have to think about what is actually this tan A. Here we are having the modulus of tan A, but here we need to consider about the quadrant rule as well. According to the given information, angle A is located in the fourth quadrant. But in the fourth quadrant, if I use another color, here all ratios are positive, sine is positive, here tangent is positive, cosine is positive. Now what we can see is angle A is located in the fourth quadrant. Therefore, definitely we have to tell that the tangent of this angle A should be a negative value. Here we have just observed or just obtained this value as tangent, the modulus of tangent A. Then combining the quadrant rule, we can take tan A, it is 3 over 4, but it is a negative value since we have combined the quadrant rule now, and we can, the information given that the angle A is located in the fourth quadrant. Using the similar way, then tangent value of B, tangent value of B was identified as 7 over 24, but it was located in second quadrant. In the second quadrant, only the sine is positive, then tangent should be negative. Then 1 minus tan A, it is minus 3 over 4, tan B minus 7 over 24. If you perform the calculation, you will get, if you do this calculation, you will get the answer for this as minus 4 divided by 3. If you perform the calculation, you can get this by minus 4 divided by 3, the value for tan A plus B. Then the part B, it is cosine A minus B. If we write down the equation first, which is associated with cosine A minus B, it is cosine A times cosine B plus sine A times sine B. Now we need to obtain the values. Cosine A, cosine A is it is 4 over 5, but angle A is in the fourth quadrant. Therefore, we have to consider that cosine value of A should be a positive value. Then we can say cosine 4 over 5, it is a positive value. Then value of cosine B, B is in the second quadrant, then it should be a negative value. Then we'll get it as minus 24 over 25. Then this plus sine of A was in the fourth quadrant. Then we know that sine A should be a negative value. Then minus 3 over 5 times sine B. B was in the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, sine is having the positive value in the second quadrant. Sine B is obtained as 7 over 20. If we perform the calculation, then we'll get the solution for this as minus 117 divided by 100. This is the answer that we are getting for obtaining the values for tan A plus B and cosine A minus B. Here what we, if I explain this again, what I have done was, since that modulus values were given, using them associate acute angle was identified. Then using the compound angle formula, the equation was obtained. Then to identify whether it is positive or negative, the quadrant rule was combined, and thereafter these answers were obtained. Now we can you can try for the eighth and the ninth problem by yourselves, and this is all what I need to discuss for this session, and thank you all for your participation.